Hello everybody and welcome back to Minecraft. So things are a little bit different. You may have noticed that this is where we started our last episode, however it doesn't look the same. We have a dripstone there now, and I will talk about how we got that in a little bit. But everything in here has now moved, and that's because I've been working over the last little gap between our episodes on our interior of our house, and we can see a little bit of a walk past here. Now this is something that I kind of wanted to do on camera, but also I thought would be really difficult to film. It's quite tight quarters inside, so I thought I would maybe just do it off camera instead. I have recorded the whole process, but I don't think you want to see it. So I'm going to show you inside and show you what I've managed to do, and we'll talk a little bit through some of my thoughts behind this. So already you probably heard from outside, we've got a cat. This is Ginger, and he's someone I got from a little village. And I have another cat upstairs called Whiskers. We'll go and see him in a minute. But this is the entryway to my house. So I've utilised the plant pots a little bit. I went and gathered some clay and I've put up some decorations and things just because I'm not really sure what to fill this space with. But I had a really big gap here and thought I would create a wardrobe or like an entry cupboard. So if we open this up, you'll see it's full of barrels. So we've got wood, stone, growing things, dirt and soil, and basically a whole load of stuff that we can just make use of. So I've put most of the useful things that I'm going to use often in there. And this is sort of our entryway and our little coat cupboard. We've got a little alcove here then, which I've covered with red wool, and I have done a lot of wool farming for the last little while. So I could decorate the house a little bit. So you see I've got this blue wool over here, and I thought that was quite appropriate for our kitchen. And so I've made this little kitchen here now. I need to add a chimney up here. We've got a cake on a crafting table there. And this, I don't know if you can work out what this is. Take a little guess. It is a knife and a chopping board. I think it's pretty cute. And then we've got our little sink here. And we've got all of our wool stored in here. So like I said, I've done loads of wool farming in between times. So we've got all of our wool in there. And then we've got all of our not quite ready to eat yet farmables, and all of our meat that's not quite ready to eat yet. And then we've got our ready to eat sat in here. I do need to plant some of these things though before I start eating them and get rid of them all. We've also got then our cupboard under the stairs, which I've just put a torch in for now, but I figured we could add a ladder in there and then have an underground storage room, because this is not a permanent storage solution. It's so fiddly, and I've got to open all of these bits and pieces up and close them all again if I want to use it, and it's just a little bit annoying. You'll also see that we've managed to get some moss blocks. Moss is quite rare now. You have to go and find it in a shipwreck because we don't have the lush caves biome yet, not till the next update, not till 1.18. So I've had to go around to a lot of shipwrecks, and I think I went to about 10 or 15 different shipwrecks, and I've managed to find, I think it was 5 moss blocks. So I came back, I farmed a lot of that up, and you can see the result in here. We've got like a stack and a bit, and then we've got our azalea bushes and some of our leaves and bits and pieces and our moss carpets. So we've got a few more decoration tools, and I wanted those specifically so that we could work on the exterior for today. We've also got this room in here then, which is almost like our blacksmith room. So we've got all of our metals and all of our gems and all of our shinies. You can see I went to a lot of buried treasure maps as well, because I've got 5 hearts of the sea, and we've actually still got quite a lot of diamonds. So you may have noticed at the start of the episode I'm wearing diamond, I'm holding a diamond sword. I've also made a diamond pick, and we've still got 10 diamonds left over, so I managed to find quite a lot while I was going around and looking for stuff. And you'll see we've got our blast furnaces and our regular furnaces in here as well. I was going to cover the wall in them, and then we'd be able to smelt stuff up really fast. At least I think that was my idea for like a starter base. And then we've got our little workstations over here for working with stone and metal. And then we've got this place up the top here, which is like our landing. So most of this is, well, pretty much all of this, none of this is functional. This is all decoration. So we've got a blue wall and a grey wall. And you'll see this wood I've left around the top, and actually it looks a bit shabby downstairs as well with how I've left it. So I was actually going to use some quartz stairs and slabs to create a proper ceiling and make it look quite nice. I can't take the wood out because it's the back of the stairs that make up the roof, so we kind of have to live with it for now. But once I get to the nether, I should be able to get some materials together to sort out the ceiling. And then in here we've got what I'm calling my loft slash creative room. I don't really know what to call it. It's kind of like an office, but I guess you don't need an office in Minecraft, do you? So we've got our cartography table here. We've got 2 buried treasure maps. I've only got 2 of the 5 that I went to just because I didn't have enough space in my inventory, so I shoved the maps in the chests. So I could get stuff out of the chests. And then over here I was going to set up a loom, but I haven't actually come across any spiders yet. I'd sleep through the night and I don't go looking for mobs. So we're going to get a loom set in here. And I don't know if you guys can guess what this is. So these are little rolls of cloth I thought was quite cute. So we've got the little buttons here that kind of make it look like the rods that go through the middle of our rolls of cloth, and then we can sort of use that to make things on our loom, which I thought was quite cute. And then basically like an attic box. So I wasn't really sure. I had a load of extra materials. We got some dripstone. I actually managed to find that in a swamp underwater, so I imagine if we go over there we'd actually just find it lying around. I don't know where it's supposed to generate, but I guess it's in a swamp. I found some of that, so I will be doing a little bit of farming with that later. I put some more of these up, and then the final event in here is our bedroom. So I'm going to shut the door behind us, and this is Whiskers. Hello, Whiskers. So we've got some plants in here and we've got our thing, but the most important I think is our enchanting setup. Now I've got enough bookshelves here to get to a level 30. And you see we've got unbreaking on that. I think I might go for the sword because it's got knockback, but I did die to a drought, so I need to get my levels back up before I can do that. But we're going to work on the zombie spawner today, so that's okay. And then we've got our bed here with our 2 little bedside tables. I don't actually play with anyone on the server, so no one's going to jump in bed with me. Maybe the cat will sleep with me. So we've got our weapons and tools in here, and you can see I've got a lot more stuff from a lot more chests around the place. And then our armor over here, and that's our old chest plate. I did have to use a couple of bits and pieces so that we could go and get our stuff back from the drowned when I died, which was sort of over that way a little bit. But yeah, this is our cute little bedroom. And that, I think, concludes our house tour. So I thought for today we could work on exteriors, and actually I had a couple of ideas for this. So you'll notice this little hole here, I'll show you in a second. I was thinking last episode that we could turn this into a bit of a pond, but we do want a bit of space along the side there that we can get into the mines with, and I need to widen up that opening a little bit and maybe shift it over slightly so that we can get in and out a bit easier, because at the moment we're sort of parkouring on some grass blocks, and I mean it's just a bit awkward, especially if you're running away from something. So we'll turn this into a little pond, and I was going to fence it off so we'll have like a little fenced off garden. And I heard some zombies. So I went down here and I found this little area here. I killed both the zombies, but I also found these little guys. We got some axolotl and I'm so excited about it. So I'll pop these in the water so you can see them. We found 2. So we've got this one who is a little pink guy. Very, very cute. I'm not sure what to call him. I might just call him Pinky because he reminds me for some reason of Pinky in the Brain. I know they were rats or mice or something, but I don't know. I think it's just the shade of him. And then we've got this one I'm going to call Goldie. And I was really surprised actually to have 2 different colours. I'm really impressed that we've managed to get the 2. So I'm picking them up for now, and I'm going to keep hold of them so that they're safe. But I think we might have a natural axolotl spawning area. So I don't know what I will do with this. I think if we shift the pond over... Oh, it's nighttime. I think if we shift this pond bit over a few blocks, so I'll extend the dirt out over here so we can build a path around to this sort of mine entrance. Shift this over maybe to start off here so we can build down. And then I thought I would create maybe like a water elevator of some kind. So there'd be water flowing down into there. So you'd sort of sink through the bottom of the pond, and then you could get into these little little caves down here, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we might have some more axolotls spawn down here over time, and if I collect them up in a bucket when I find them, then maybe, just maybe, we'll actually have loads and loads of different little axolotls that we can keep and we can make pets out of. So cute. I'm also thinking we need to start working on this farm. Now this is not ideal. I think I mentioned this last episode. This is not the way. Oh, I got a horse, by the way. I put some leather armor on him so that, you know, just because. But this is really not ideal, especially with all of the sheep. I would really like a proper rainbow sheep farm. And yeah, this is just so messy. I think I killed an enderman here and he jumped down and smashed this here, and I don't really want to have to hoe everything again. I think I'm just gonna break it up, and maybe I might do that between episodes, I don't know, or we'll do it in between within this episode somewhere. But this is just a whole mess now. I mean, we've used all the sugarcane that we need for a little while, so I don't know, we need to find something new to do with this, because it's just not good. But maybe if we work on this area outside, then we can kind of tie it in to this whole aesthetic up here, into our little sort of cottagey aesthetic, and then maybe it'll be a bit easier for us to work out what we want to do. However, I did say last episode, and we spent a lot of time on it, that we would start working out what is going on down here. So our spawner is still intact. I haven't been down here very much whilst I've been working on the stuff up there, and I don't know if this is still randomly spawning stuff in midair, but we do need to work on this area. So I'm going to go grab some blocks, and then we can start decorating this up and hopefully build a proper working zombie farm, and we can start getting some XP from that, and then maybe we can get enchanting. So just sit back, relax, enjoy the time lapse, and I will catch you in a bit. Done with the spawner room. I mean, it's not completely finished. We've got obviously all the amethyst up there. I'm not really sure how to incorporate that. I was thinking of using just like black wool around the top and making it into kind of like a starry night sky. But it seems like I'm going to have to farm up a lot of black wool for that. But I'm going to show you the spawner. So in here is our spawner. I'll just dig into the wall and you can see that really quick. And we just pray that that doesn't go anywhere. So all of our spawner is in there. We've set up the water so that it's flowing over there. I've used like a combination of mossy and cobble in there. And actually, I think if we place in a bit of water, we should be able to come down here fairly safely. There we go. So I'll show you this whole system. So your zombies spawn in here and drop down into the water. It's very loud in here. And they'll come through here and they land on this cobblestone wall here. Now this will push them up onto the soul sand. The only thing we don't have to make this farm work, unfortunately, is the soul sand, which is really frustrating. But that will elevate them up this water track here. And when they get to the top, they get pushed along here, down this hole, and ready for us to start whacking their feet. So just like a regular zombie spawner would work, but I thought I would just give you the little tour of that. And I'll grab that water back and we'll place back the carpet. Now, just in case you haven't made a spawner XP farm before, the reason you put the carpet on is because all the XP gets stuck inside the hopper model, so you have to place that on top so that the XP will come out. I've lowered this down a bit so I can see inside and get a bit of a bigger swipe on there. Well, I've only got the one chest in there, but I imagine I'll just stick storage all around the walls. So this is the design so far, and I actually went so far as to dig out a staircase up here, sort of a decent size, and this obviously needs decorating up, but it links back to our original stair, and I will again decorate up this staircase as well. Like this little platform here, it looks quite good, so I don't know if I might try and incorporate it into that somehow. So I think this looks really good. I just need to farm up a load of black wool to sort of cover over that area there. We've had to dig quite a way down as well to get into here, and on the top of the spawners over there, so there's a lot still to do. Might be done in between episodes, but for now I don't have the resources. I also need to build some sort of staircase actually up here so we're not having to jump all the blocks. But that, I'm going to say, is done for now. Until we can get to the nether and get ourselves a piece of soul sand, that is pretty much how it's going to sit for a little while. It does mean we can't get any of our enchanting done yet though, which is a bit frustrating. So the next task is going to be this area up here, and I need to start digging out a lot of bits and pieces to get this the right shape. Because for the moment I'm not very happy with the way that this looks. I'm going to have to sort of dig out this side and make it a bit more hollow, hoping that the pond will actually sit over these caves, and we'll build this side out a little bit, say to about here, so we can path over to there. So we need to shift the pond over a bit and dig down. We're going to have water falling down into this cave so that the axolotls can swim their way up and make their way back down again. So they've got an underground cave and we can go down there and visit them as well. But they've also got somewhere at the surface they can come up to, and hopefully we get a good number of those spawning. So I'm going to have to do a lot of terraining around here. It's just going to be placing a lot of dirt and moving basically the dirt that's over there over here, and then we'll do some pathing. I'm also thinking I might swap out this cobble for the smooth blackstone, so I might get that done in the middle time. But yeah, terraforming this area, make it look nice. I also might build a couple of custom trees around this mountain or around the front of here, just to kind of tie in the feel a little bit, and just make it feel a little bit more custom. So let's go. think we have done this. I've done about an hour's worth of stuff, and to be fair, a lot of things are still growing, like the vines are still growing down here, so I'm still kind of waiting to see the effect of that. But this is our little area that we've created. I've made the path all along here, and I've kind of started decorating the side. I think I need to put some vines down the side here, and I've shifted this entrance over, so we were jumping up these blocks here. We now can't actually get down into here, so I will work out a proper entrance, probably fill all this in with some stone and have this join that path down there. But this is our little area that I made, our little pond area. So we've got a custom tree over here, and actually I planted these two. I think I need to flesh out some leaves over here, look. I planted these two and they created this little arch, which I thought was really, really cute. So I left it as it was, and I put like a little log bench underneath here that I've stuck some vines on. So hopefully that starts growing and wrapping around very soon. I've also put like a lot of lily pads out and just lots of different foliage and stuff. And you can see one of our axolotls has actually popped up to say hello. So I've popped our axolotls in the downstairs bit. And this wasn't easy to film. Like I said, interiors and small spaces are really, really difficult to film. So I worked on all of this pond, and I shifted it over so that this hole here would lead down to caves. So these are looking super magical and full of life now. And I think Goldie is around here somewhere as well. There he is. But I've added loads and loads of life into here, so we've got like a hidden torch behind there, so I don't actually have to, if I take my torch off, this place is perfectly lit up without anything added to it. I've added in some dripstone. This one here hopefully should grow because, there we go, it's dripping, because it is actually attached to the pond above. So we should get some growth on that one there, one of our axolotls down there. And we've got some moss carpets around as well. So under there is a hidden light source. So we've got light hidden all over the place, just to light this area up and make sure that animals and to make sure that mobs can't spawn down there. And I've done a very similar thing up here, so I think that's another one, another little light source under there. So we've got a lot of hidden lighting all around the place. I was going to use glow lichen, but I haven't done a lot of caving. I've done a lot of strip mining, but not very much caving. So I need to go into some caves and actually collect some glow lichen and start farming it. I don't have currently a bone meal source, which makes it really awkward to do. But he seems to be wanting to stay in there. I don't actually think axolotls travel over the land, or at least not unless there's a very local water supply. So I don't think Pinky's going to be going anywhere. He's just going to be staying in this pond, hopefully, and maybe Goldie will come up and join him later. So yeah, let me know what you think of this. This is my custom tree. I'm not brilliant at trees, but I thought I'd give it a go. I think I might need to extend like a root system out a little bit, and I haven't used any sort of fence posts or anything. I think it's all right for we got a little bit more vine growth there. I think it's all right for a first kind of build custom tree. I think I need to build this up a little bit and build it out this way a bit, but on the whole I think it's pretty good. And I'm pretty happy with it. So we've added to this area now. I am between episodes going to work out sort of the shape of this so that we can get in and out really easily, and so our path links to it. And I will do some farming for things like bones and stuff, so I can bone meal some things, because I ran out of bone meal before I even headed down here. So all of these moss blocks and all the carpet and the grass and everything were all placed by hand, which is a bit irritating, and I don't want to have to do that again. And hopefully we can start farming up some dripstone and things as well, and then we've got a bit more things. I've also got, you know, all of this sugarcane around, so we could kind of shift the farm to like a more natural version. Same with the bamboo growing up here. So yeah, let me know what you think. I'm really proud of this. I'm not great at the naturey sort of stuff. I can build all right. To be honest, I'm all right at most things. I'm not brilliant at any one thing, but you know what they say, you know, jack of all trades, master of none. That's exactly where I sit. So I'm going to leave this here for today, guys. Let me know what you think, and if you liked this. Hello, Pinky, hiding in the background there. And I think next time we might work on our zombie spawner, getting that up to scratch and making sure it's working, and take a trip into the Nether, because we desperately need some resources from there to start building out our base properly. We need, obviously, our soul sand and some nether quartz so that we can build our ceilings properly. So do join me next time when we make that dangerous trip into the Nether. I might gear up a little bit more. And thank you so much for watching. It means an awful lot. See you later. Bye bye.